So Linux are basically composed of a completely directories, means folder and files. Okay, inside the folders and files there are binary files and libraries are there and all are. Okay, so Linux distributions are completely composed of a file and folder systems, and inside that lot of binaries and the libraries are present. Okay, so let's talk about the Linux directory. So what are the types of directories are there in the Linux operating system? There are binary directories. Okay, binary directory means what? It only contains the binary or compiled source code. Okay, compiled source code means what? After the you write in some libraries and all, like Java application, something like that. So you compile that code, right? After the compilation you get .jar file or something like that, .class file or whatever. Okay, .exe, all are these files are basically binary files, means compiled file. If you open that file, you will not be able to see what is written inside correctly. So that binary files are, there is a directory present in the Linux that is called as a binary directories, and that contains only binary or compiled source code, and that will be present under the /bin. Bin means binary. Okay, so /bin or /sbin. Sbin means what? System bin. Means system bin, there is a user bin. Okay, I will come to that. What is that? Then there are directory called configuration directories. Configuration directory means what? It contains the configuration file of the system. Okay, so if your operating system or whatever the configurations are there, that will be present inside the /etc. Okay, and the /boot folder. Inside the boot folder, all the configuration files are present. There are data directories. Okay, so which stores data files like home or root. So if you see my user like Vagrant user or root user, that will be all the information about the SSH key and all. If you install some software, so or whatever you download or install anything, that information of the downloading file and creating new files and all will present under the /home or /root. Okay, so that is a data directory. There are memory directories. Okay, which what it does. So memory also have a directories. What were the memory information, RAM and all, everything will be written in the file only. So what is the memory utilized, how much memory is remaining and all, everything will be stored in the file only. Okay, so it stores device files which does not take up actual hard disk space, and this example like this will be present in the /dev or /proc or /sys. Okay, so memory directories have all kind of information about the dev for the device, proc for the processes, sys for the system. Okay, so all the information about the devices, processes and the systems will be present in the memory directory. Okay, fine. There are USR. So USR is not the user, it's basically Unix system resources. USR full form is, it contains shareable read-only data. Okay, read-only data. You cannot modify anything, you can only read. And examples are like USR bin or USR lib. So USR binary and USR library. Okay, and there is a var folder. Okay, always in Linux there is a var folder is there, that is called as a variable directory, which contains larger size data. Means the data, larger size data. Example like var log. Okay, so logs, whatever the any application you install, the log file, system logs and all will be present under the var log or var cache, if any caching and all is there. And there is a non-standard directories are there. That directory does not comes under the standard file system and all. That is called as a lost plus found or /run. Okay, so there, this is there all non-standard directories. So complete operating system of a Linux is nothing but a directories and the folders. Okay, directory means folders, and inside that many binaries, libraries, files and all is present. Okay.
Is a come under the root directory, right?
Yes, it will come under the root directory. In the normal user directory, only you will get the home folder. Under that, it will be only be the your user information, like under the Vagrant folder. Okay, I'll show you how it will be. Okay, I'll show once I will go to one by like binary system, then I'll show you how it will be. Okay. Now Linux binary directory. Okay, Linux binary directory is what, like all the binaries will be present here. So binary files are the files which contains compiled source code. or machine codes. They are also called executable files because they can be executed on the computer. And the binary directories contains following directory like /bin, /sbin, /lib or /opt. OPT is basically a optional, okay? Means if you are installing some software, custom software and all, then you can put on the OPT folder, okay? So what is bin? So bin directory contains user binaries, executable files, Linux commands that are used in the single user mode, okay? And common commands that are used by the all user like cat command, cp command, cd, ls, whatever I'm running, right? That all commands comes under the /bin folder, okay? And the /bin directory does not contain directory. So inside that /bin there is no folder, only the binaries are there, okay? And sbin is what? System binaries. System bin directories contains also contains executable files, but unlike bin, /bin, it only contains the system binaries, which require to root privilege to perform the certain task, okay? For performing the any task like this sbin related, you need to have a root access. Without that you cannot do that, and are helpful for the system maintenance purposes like fsck for disk management, root, init, ifconfig and all, okay? So let me show you, let me go to, yeah. So I connected to Linux machine, right? This is my Vagrant machine. You're able to see this is the Vagrant machine, correct? If I check here, what is my username? What is my username? Who am I? I can check who am I, okay? If I check, it is saying I'm a Vagrant, correct? Because my username is what? Vagrant. That's what it is saying, Vagrant, okay? And under this folder, only you're able to see this many files are there, nothing else. That belongs to the Vagrant user. You can see the owner and the group is the Vagrant, right? Correct? Now, if I want to see what is present inside the, so ls-la will print the, now you can see inside that I'm going inside the bin directory, okay? This is the bin directory, correct? I'm printing all the content of a binary folder. What is there? You can see the bash command. If you see cp and all, you can see cp, okay? Date command, df command, dd command and all kind of echo command. So all binaries are present only. You can see here all. So you can see there is no d, right? There is no d, but it is mounted to somewhere also. Netcat, it is L, means it is mounted. Symlink, it is done, okay? So ping command and all system D and all, we can see system CTL and all will be present in the bin folder, which is a user bin you can run. So if I want to run something, some command and all, like suppose I want to run date, okay? I'm able to get the date and time, Sunday, August and all, okay? But there are some folder like sbin, right? If I want to print ls-la and our sbin, okay, you able to get that, okay? Here you can see this is the system binaries, okay, related to all like what is that? Let me see, chcpu, okay, and fsck and yeah, and one more, let me see, lvm command to Linux volume management and all, mkfs, you heard about that. If not, that's fine, we'll see that, and route command and all. So if I do route, okay, so you are able to do, because that Vagrant have a privilege to this route actually, that's why they are able to execute that, okay? So routing will be giving the where it is basically your gateway, what is your default gateway and all will be there, okay? All like your mask and all, everything, okay? What is your IP, you can see this is your 33.0, okay? But our IP is what? 33. I think 33 or 11 is there, right? Our IP. So this is a gateway. The first IP will be always a gateway, okay? You can see 33, right? So 33.0 will be first IP address, will be always be a gateway, Okay, that is a networking concept. Okay, fine. So you got it. Like this is the your Linux directory, bin and sbin. Okay, and now there is a library folder, lib/library. Okay, in the lib folders directory contains shared library which are often used by the bin or sbin directories. It also contains kernel module. These files are identified as IDs or lib.star.so file or some example like that. ID linux.so.2 or lib, like kind of thing. So if you print that ls minus la of lib, okay, sorry, okay, you cannot access. Okay, so for that you need to have a sudo ls-la and then the /lib. Okay, sorry, what I'm doing, not bin, right? /lib. Yeah, so you can see under that you can see all are basically a SO files and all. So basically all are like this is the libraries which are basically used by what? It is used by the whatever the command we are running, right? Which is present at the /bin or sbin binaries are present, right? They are basically using those libraries. So binaries are using the library.
Why sudo command we have inserted?
Because we are not able to access that. Okay, sudo will be like root access. Access.
Sir, why you have in between library there are two forward slashes, ls minus la one slash and after library one slash.
This one, this command.
Yeah.
Okay, so the folder name is what, like /lib. Okay, okay. If you tab, there are two folders basically. There is a lib and there is a lib64. Okay, so if you want to go to that, then you have to change that, right? And then you can see all the files are here. Okay, so you will to see like this is the SO file, .so file and all. And this Vagrant have a root access. Okay, that's why we are able to access that. Okay, so root privilege is there. Got it? Fine. Okay, and now there is a opt /opt folder. Okay, so /opt folder are what? It's basically term for the short term is optional. It is the main purpose of this store optional application software packages. Suppose you have a third party software and all, you want to install it, you can go ahead and install in the opt folder. Okay, and add an application for individual vendor, it is installed in the opt, and so in some system opt is empty as they may not have any add-on software and all. So if I check here, let me go to the root directory. So pwd will print you where is your location, where you are present. So pwd full form is what? Present working directory. Okay, present working directory. Okay, so if I am checking the ls minus la of /opt. Okay, so right now no software is installed, that's why it is no optional softwares are there in this machine, that's why it's empty right now. Okay, fine. So these are the binary directories. Okay,
Can you please share the command full forms and
yeah, I'm going to share you the document where all the commands full form will be there, and the description, what is the purpose of that on. And all this thing will be, you have to do practice day-to-day activity, it will be. So you will be going to learn everything, don't worry. Okay, so it will be till the course will end, right? You are going to use these commands. Okay, every time.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the very initial, very starting, right? So maybe you are like, oh, okay, what command and what going to do and all. Don't worry about that. You try practicing whenever we do. Okay, and, once you have used to it, then you will be able to do that. Okay, by understand. So I will share the document as well today. Now Linux configuration directory. Okay, so Linux configuration, the configuration directory contains, now we are talking about we finished with the binary directories, right? Now this is the configuration directories. So configuration directory contains the configured files which configure the parameter and initial setting for some computer programs. Okay, fine. So these are basically directory having the only the contains the configuration file, like suppose the Tomcat running on the 8080 port and all this kind of configurations, right? That will be contained here. Okay. So configuration directory of following subdirectories /boot and /etc. Okay. So /boot will be what? It's a directory contains bootloader. So it has all the booting time, what all the software need to be start and all, right? So bootloader files which are essential to boot the system. In other words, they only contain the file which are needed for the basic Linux system to get up and going. Okay, in the boot folder. Okay, if I show you, so ls-la of /boot. So these are the basically you can see here. What is that? Inside that there is a grub folder is there, and you can see system map, something is there, generic and all. But there is a grub folder is there. So grub is our bootloader right now. And if you check grub, oh sorry, I need to ls-la again, and under the boot, the grub is there, and then if you see there are default is there, local is there. Okay, so you can see default is there. Inside that default file something is written, and the font, then all configuration file and everything, menu list and all. Okay. So if I cat that, cat under the boot and under the grub and under the menu. Okay. So this is what they are written, like what all the things needs to be installed and how and all these things. Okay. Everything. So everything will be like defined in the this. So grub will be doing the default. You can see default file is there also. If I go here and change the default, okay, so nothing is there. Okay, so it will be using the grub set default they are using basically. So grub default grub set, okay, which is present under some other location. Okay, so got it. So this is the /boot is what all the during the bootloader, right? Whenever you turn off your laptop, right, that time they will read from the /boot folder. Okay, and it will contain all the boot level files and all. And /etc folder, all the machines related configuration, all the machine related means which, like suppose you are installing some software, something like your system configuration softwares and all will be present on the etc folder. Like suppose you install like some software will be like Git and all, or maybe Jenkins, or anything if you install, all will be going to be present under the /etc.
Sir, could you please go to that etc folder, please?
Yeah, I will take you through that. So all the machine related configuration file kept in etc folder. Almost everything related to the configuration of your system is placed here. Everything, all the configuration file will be present on the etc folder. It also contains startup and shutdown shell scripts, okay, which is used to start and stop a program. So any software which will start and stop whenever we're running, right? Service, Apache, start, stop, restart, or status, all will be present inside this only etc folder. All the files are static and text based, and no binary file can be placed in this directory. So under the /etc, only text file will be there. No binary file, no libraries are there. But they are referring to the libraries and binaries of the other folders. The meaning of etc is very controversial. It is not like a etc. Okay, it could contain all the files that did not belong from anywhere else, but recently is most meaning like editable text configuration. So editable text configuration are extended tool chest, and configuration files will have an extension of .conf. Okay, so all the files have a .conf file will be there, right? That is have a configuration. So if I go here, if I check, so I'm doing only ls because it have a lot of files under that. Okay, if you do this many, you can see the softwares. Okay, all the folders and all. Okay, And if Tomcat, you're able to see Tomcat would be present here only. If you go T, where is the T? ST, right? After the S, T. Yeah, Tomcat 9, you can see, which we installed today, right? Tomcat 9. So after the installation, the configuration file will be present inside this. So you can see all the related to the network manager, all APM and APT. You can see APT is a package manager, right? So all the configuration related to all the software, bash related, all the cron jobs and all, you can see the
The VA
DSC.
editor is also here.
Huh?
VA editor is also here.
Yes. All will be there.
Yeah.
Everything, Vim is there. Vim.
Yeah.
Okay. So everything, OPT is there on the folder, OS release is there. Okay, what is the version of the operating system and all. So everything will be present under your etc folder. Means all related to the configuration file of everything is present here. And another is what? /boot folder, where the only the bootloader. Okay. You can see system D would be there. /system SSS security services file is there. Okay, that services file will be there whenever we running. If you print that command, right? If let me take that command of / under the etc and services. So it's basically it's written like what all the services are there and what is this information, all the services added and this distributions and all, everything will be there, all, and which services running on which port, TCP protocol and everything. So all the related to the configuration part. Okay. And if I'm talking about the Tomcat, which we can understand easily. Okay. If I go to Tomcat and if you check what it exactly inside. So inside this folder, you're not able to see any binary or library files. All are basically configuration file. If you see server.xml, where the port number is configured. Okay. Tomcat user and .xml, where the user like the admin and all user you can add. Catalina.property, it's also configuration file. Context.xml, all are configuration file. Web.xml is also configuration file. If I print that web.xml, you're able to see permission denied. Okay. So you need to have a sudo right now. Now you can see this is the configuration file where you can change the like pattern of this and all, like how to access which application and all, like application level. Okay. And let me open that cat of the conf folder under the conf folder. Okay, server.xml. So server.xml. Okay. Sudo. So sudo is basically this. Okay, sudo is giving the privilege of root. Okay. So you can see that our port is running, our Tomcat is running on the port here. You can see 8080 port. This is okay. Fine. So if I open that in the VI editor, then you're able to see. So VI, and if you check server.xml, you're able to see what happened. Permission denied. Okay. So now able to see here, you can see if I go a bit down, you're able to see this is colored, right? Means this is a enabled, means our port is what? 8080. If I go here on my browser, okay, let me do that, and if I do 192.168.33.33, correct, and 8080, we are able to get that right port, correct, on this port, 8080 port. Okay. If I want to run on the 9000 port on 9090, how we can do that? So you need to change this port number 8080 to 9090. Okay. So using the VI editor, we can do that, right? I go there and insert button, I type the I, okay, and I change it to 9090. Okay. Escape, and I'm saving this file. Okay. I'm saving this file 9090. Now I need to start the service. Okay. So service will be always sudo service. Okay. And Tomcat 9 stop. First I need to stop it. Okay. Once you stop it, again you start it. because you want to reflect the changes. Whatever you made the changes you want to reflect it, right? Now if you check the status here, you can see here your port number will be there, 1990. It will be running somewhere, yeah, here. You can see the port 1990, right? 1990 you able to see. Now let me go to the browser, and if I refresh this page, it is saying what? It is not reachable. And if I change the port from 8080 to 1990, it is coming, correct? So that is all the configuration. So all the configuration related thing will be present under the etc folder. Okay, so editable text. Okay, clear? This is till now.
Sir, is it mandatory to configure the port number here? Because
No, it is not mandatory. Suppose your Jenkins is running, some other software is running on the same port, like 8080, and you install the Tomcat. What will be your issue? Will be like it will not be running. Your Jenkins will be running on 8080 port, but when you try to hit again the same port number, it will give you only the Jenkins, not the Tomcat. Okay, so that time you need to change the port number. Correct. One port can be used by one application. That is, you remember. Okay. It means what?
Is there any range of these port numbers? And
Yeah, port numbers you can define. You can have a range of from starting from the 22 to you can have a 32,000 and all the port. Okay, that you can define. We'll talk in that. What is the port number? How we can define now? Any number you can give. That is not fixed. Okay. Fine. So this is the Linux configuration directories. Okay. Now we are talking about Linux data directory. Okay. So data directory is what? The data directory used to store data of the system. And the data directory contains following directory: /home, /root, /srv, /mnt, and /tmp. TMP means temporary. Okay. So what exactly /home in the directory stores user permissional files, means like Vagrant personal file like SSH key and all other files will be if you download some packages and all, you create some files and all, it will be present in particular. So after the /home there is a directory which is generally named as the username, like Vagrant, Verma, or any other name. Okay. /root is a directory for the home directory of root user. So in a system, any operating system, there is only one root user. Okay, and that is a folder structure is what? /root only. SRV stands for the service. Okay, /SRV. The SRV directory contains server specific data for service provided by the system like www, CVS, rsync, FTP and all. So SRV will be used for that purpose. Services. Suppose you deployed your application www and all, so you can put on the SRV folder. MNT stands for what? Mount. Mount means what? You configure one folder to some remote server. Okay, some storage or some other extra storage is there. You can mount that. Means file system mounting, like NFS and all you are talking about, right? That you can do in the mount. Okay, so you have suppose you have a storage. Okay, you have a storage of 500 GB. Out of that, if you but your system will be only getting the 200 GB. Remaining 300 will be associated with it's free. It's not allocated. So you can create a mount folder and you can associate with some using the fsck and all command. You can mk directory, external force and all, you can mount it. Okay. So MNT directory should be empty and system admin can only mount the temporary file system. So it's basically a temporary file system which is in the remote machine and all, or external hard drive. You can see if you plug in, remember you plug in your any external hard drive or pen drive to your laptop, then you're able to see there is a new folder was created, right? And the name of the folder is what? Basically the pen drive name, right? That is basically a mounted folder, temporary. Whenever you remove, it will gone. So that kind of thing you can do using the MNT, /MNT. And there is a /TMP, which is basically a temporary, stand for temporary. That is stores the data in the temporary and may use either disk space of RAM, okay? Either it will be stored this, okay? They use the RAM and all, okay? And when system is rebooted, whenever system you reboot, whatever the files under this directory automatically deleted. So it is advisable that never use temp folder to store important data. So suppose you want to install some software and all, and you want to delete after the installation, right? That package and all. So you always recommended download in the temp folder, you install it and you leave it. Whenever machine will be rebooted, automatically that will be deleted. Okay, fine. So you want to show me that all directories, let me show you. So if you want to see the first like home directory, so if I do pwd, you are able to see, okay, it is right now I'm done this directory. Go to this, I'm going to this here, and now I will do pwd. So you can see home Vagrant. So if I go here and go to first home, so this is the home directory is a, here you can see there are two users are there. One is Ubuntu, okay, and there is a Vagrant. Two users are there. Okay, one is Ubuntu, one is Vagrant. Okay, if I go to the Ubuntu, you're able to see the same file like this. Okay, if I go to the cd Vagrant, you're able to see this many files are there. So here it is a more files are there, and here is only this folders and all. Okay, so there are two users are there right now, Ubuntu and Vagrant. And what is the this root folder? So for that you need to use sudo and /root directly. So this is not come under the this what you call, okay, you want to become a first sudo, okay, sudo su, and now I am become a this. If we do the pwd, so it's a root, and if I check, this is the directory of root user. Okay, fine. And there are like folder called srv. If you check what is there inside, nothing right now. If you want to check the temp folder, okay, if you check any softwares, so whatever we install, anything will be there. You see all machines will be here right now. Okay, all the folders and all Vagrant cell and all will be present in the temp directory, systemd private and all whatever software installed. So whenever we reboot the machine, it automatically it will delete it. Okay, and you will not be able to see that /mnt, it is there, nothing is mounted. Okay, right now, fine. So this is what like a data directory. Okay, now there is a memory directory. Okay, so memory directory is what? Memory directory contains the file of whole system. All the device information, processing running in the data, or system related information are stored in this directory. Okay, memory directory contains the following directories like /dev, /proc, /sys. Okay, so what is dev? So dev term is short form for device. As you know, Linux operating system, everything is a file. Okay, so dev has a tty and dev pts. The dev tty file represents the command line interface, that is a terminal, okay, tty, or a console attached to the system. So whenever I am running the terminals and all that, command and all, they are using the dev tty only. So typing command in a terminal is a part of graphical interface like GNOME or KDE, and then the terminal will be represented as a dev pts/1. One is replaceable by the any other number. Okay, and dev/null, the dev/null is a file considered as a black hole. Okay, it is has unlimited storage, but nothing can be retrieved from it. So whenever we are running the command and all, right, it will have nothing can be retrieved. So whenever you pass anything, any data to the dev null, you will not, you will do everything, you will storing in the black hole, you will not get anything. Okay, and you can discard your unwanted output from the terminal, but you cannot retrieve it back. So if you want your output is coming in the terminal, right, you can put in the terminal. What is proc? So proc is basically process, a short form of process, same as the dev. Proc also does not take up the disk space. It contains process informations, what are the processes are running. Okay, it has a pseudo file system that contains information about running processes. Okay, so whatever the processes are running, it will give you the all the information. So that I showed right here, all the processes, whatever the processes are running, all will be having the what is the memory and all and time and everything will be they written in the that way. Okay, and the /sys is basically stand for the system it contains kernel information about the hardware. Okay, so let me go to that. Okay, let me open the terminal. Let me go to the root. Now we are going to under the proc. Okay, and let's see what is inside. So you can see all the processes, whatever the processes are running here. You can see this is what is the number you are able to see, right? These are basically a process ID. Inside that folder, if you go any other folder, so if I want to check Tomcat, right? Tomcat is running, correct? So Tomcat, how we can get that PS minus EF, okay? And I wanted to get that Tomcat. So Tomcat, if I put Tomcat, so I can see this is the Tomcat process ID 6592. Okay, so if I want to go inside the proc 6592, right? This is the process ID. I'm going inside that. Okay, if I go there, you're able to see what is present inside. Now you can see all the information about the what is they are taking, the memory, what is that they're taking and all. You can see what executable they are using, the library, Java they are using, right? What is my current working directory, the var lib this, right? Current working directory, all the information related to Tomcat only. You're able to see everything. Okay, and you can see mem. Mem is how much memory they are taking. So if I print cat mem, okay, okay, it is input output error will come in. Okay, so where is the other? I can show you. So everything, all the information related to this, the Tomcat process is running. All the information related to this will be present in the this only, which is the control group they are using and all. So everything will be written. So CPU set, yeah, I'm able to print that CPU set. Okay, it is not coming. Status is, you can see status will be fine. You can see the status. If you see cat status, so that will be like what is the status. It is have the information like it is name is Java and all. It is the process ID and all, PID and everything, all the information related to. Okay, so a lot many details are there. So VM size and all, everything. Okay, so all the information related in the process proc folder, it will be the all the processes. Okay, fine. And yeah, now there are Unix system resources. Okay, Unix system resources is what, although it is a pronounced a user, but it actually it stands for the Unix system resources. And it is also called secondary hierarchy as it contains binary. Okay, so this all folders will contain the binaries, USR. Binaries, libraries, documentation for all the user applications. So that we are, whatever we talk about the bin and lib, right? They are system level, but user level, all the binaries and libraries are present inside the USR bin, USR include, lib, share, local SRC. Okay, and it also contains the shareable read-only data. Okay, so USR bin, it basically contains the directory non-essential binary command for all user. It cannot find a command in the bin search in the user bin. So suppose I'm using the CP and all, right? We found in the bin. If some command you're not able to find in there, you can get in here, USR bin. So it contains a lot of commands. Okay, USR include, it directly contains the standard include file for the C. Okay, C languages and all, because it is also developed in that only. And USR libraries, it contains the library for that are not actually executed by the user. In other, it contains the binaries of the USR bin, the USR S bin. So whatever the USR bin and USR the S bin are there, right? For that, the library will be contained. Okay. USR share directly contain architecture independent data. Okay, the data you want to share and all. Local, used for install software locally. It means all user program that you install from the source will be installed here. So suppose I will going to install some software and all, right? If binary package is there like Wagger, we are talking about Packer and Terraform. When we do, what we will do, we will put in the user local. Under that folder, if you directly copy that binary file, we are able to start doing work on that Terraform and all. Okay. And USR is for the source. It used to store source code like kernel source code and with the header files and all. Okay. So let me go to here and let me list the USR user binary. Okay. So lot many binaries you can see, which is not present there. You're able to see here. Okay, all that. Okay. So apt, you can see here the command. Okay, that will be not present there. You can see the curl command. Somebody asked about wget, right? So w will be present here. You can see. Okay, fine. So all the commands, SSH, you can see SSH and all command, SSH keygen and all, stat and all this command will be present under the USR binary. Okay, fine. Like that, all the files will be present in the USR. Okay. And the last is what? Variable data. So /var. So the term var stands for the variable files that have an unexpected size and whose content is expected to change continuously. Means some file is there which will keep continuously changing. Means logs are coming, some data is keep coming and all. That's why that file name is called as a variable. Okay, var folder. And during the normal operational system are stored here. For example, log files, spool files, and cache files are present inside that. So log file will be where the log file is present under the var log. The cache file will be var cache. A spool file will be whatever error will be coming and all, it will present, and var library. Okay. So var log will be all the directory for the all log files. Cache for the what? Directory stores application cache data. Cache data are locally generated by IOR calculations. Okay. Cache must be able to regenerate or restore the data. This file can be deleted without any loss of data. So you can delete that data, no problem. Okay. And var spool is used to directly to spool for the file waiting to the processes. Okay. For example, like printing queue and mail queue. So if you put a command to print some document and all, and it is in queue, right? It is will be waiting for some other to be print out. So that will be used in the spool. Okay. Yeah. And var lib is what? Directory store for the files that contain state information like database and all will be present here. So if I take you to the var lib folder under the var lib, okay, so you're able to see all the log file. So you have a log file for apt, folder, cloud, dbus, git, grep, okay, log rotate. So all are log only. Systemd, sudo logs, Tomcat 9, you can see whatever we installed, right? The Tomcat 9, all the, if I take you to the Tomcat 9, okay, and if you check, all the log files are present here. So conf file configuring from there, they are referring under the etc, they are mounted actually. And libraries are there and the log files. If I go to the log file here, cd log, okay, and if I ls-la, now you can see all the log files here, catalina.this and all, who access and all. So right now if I access, I will get my IP and all. So if I do that cat and localhost -access this, right, you're able to see this was accessed from this machine. Okay, when it was accessed 9 August at that time, right? This is the UTC time, okay, plus 00, not 5 hours. Okay, so 5.5 hour will be IST. So it is a IST time actually, not UTC. Okay, like it is not IST, it is a UTC time plus 00, you can see. Okay, so you can see whenever I access, if I keep adding, you can see there are 4 lines, right? 4 lines. If I go to the browser and I will hit here, right? If I hit again 2 times, and now I will see that again I will go and see there are only 4 lines, right? Again I will see this. Okay, it is not coming. You're able to see now it increased. These 2 lines are added because 2 times I hit it, right? So this is, you can see the timing. This is where the 14 this, right? And right now it is after 20 minutes we hit it. Okay, so all the logs will be present inside the var log folder. Okay, got it. So that is what for the today. Okay.